Now here we study one terminology called as partitions of the sample space. Now let's consider the sample space denoted by this Venn diagram, and we break it into various parts as shown here, and they are called as E1, E2, E3 and so on up to En. Now these will be called as partitions only if two conditions are satisfied. That means first is, if we take the union of all these particular events, that is E1 union E2 union E3 and so on up to En, if that gives us the sample space, which is the first condition, and second condition is if the intersection of Ei and Ej is an empty set where I is not equal to j. So in simple words, the second condition says that if out of these n sub events, if you take any two and if they happen to be exclusive events, that is there is nothing common between them, so in that case we have this particular second condition. Now if these two conditions are satisfied, then the set of these events from E1, E2, E3 up to En are called as the partitions of the given sample space. Now based on this terminology, we derive one important result that is called as theorem on total probability. Right? Now let's look at the diagram here. That is, we have a sample space, and now here we have the different partitions on the sample space shown by E1, E2 and so on up to En. Alright, now we know what is a partition of a sample space. That is, these are exhaustive and mutually exclusive events. Now let's consider any general event denoted by A, okay, as shown here. Now since it's a general event, we are showing that it may cut through all the individual partitions. Now we want to find out the probability of any such general event A. Alright. Now how to find that? To find that, let us first consider that, this A, as it goes through all the individual partitions, it can be thought to be composed of individual parts which are present in the different partitions, correct? So if you consider this first shaded portion, that is nothing but, we can easily see it's the intersection of E1 and the event A. So therefore here we have the first term as E1 intersection A, correct? Now we consider the second part of the event A, which is present in the partition E2. Now that is nothing but E2 intersection A. And doing this similarly, we will reach up to the last intersection, which is En intersection A. Now it's clear from the diagram that all these intersections will be mutually exclusive because they themselves will not share any common region between them. So therefore whenever we add the probabilities of all these intersection events, we will get probability of A. Now using the definition of conditional probability, as we have seen earlier, we can write each of these intersection into the corresponding product using conditional probability. So as an example, probability of E1 intersection A can be written as probability of E1 into probability of A given E1, which is the multiplication theorem we have seen already. So similarly, we write each probability in the first step as a product of two probabilities in which we have one conditional probability. So that means if we look at this second step, that is, we have the product of one partition multiplied by product of event A given that that specific partition has occurred. So therefore writing all these individual terms together using the sigma notation, we finally have the statement that probability of A is equal to summation of probability of Ei, which denotes any general partition, multiplied by probability of A given Ei, and I is nothing but a counter which goes from 1 to n to cover all the partitions. So that is called as the theorem on total probability.